The first 10 seconds of every speech you will ever make are the most important. This is because these first 10 seconds are what's going to dictate whether your audience falls asleep immediately or becomes completely engrossed in your speech and listens to you to the very end. And in this video, I will be sharing with you 4 of the best ways to instantly hook your audience, which will boost your confidence, your personality, and your overall charisma for the rest of your speech. So whether you're trying to hook a real-life audience or an online one, I've got you covered. And it all stems from my 4-letter patented acronym I like to call, drumroll please, JABISC. Okay, maybe the acronym itself could use a little bit of work, but it's the content that matters. Starting off with J, we have joke. Now, jokes are one of the best and most versatile ways to start a presentation because they're so versatile and can be used in so many different scenarios. Using a joke at the very beginning of your speech can help to entertain the audience while helping to relieve some of the tension in the room that naturally comes when you are public speaking. But some of you might be thinking,
"Oh man, I suck at telling jokes. How on earth am I supposed to make the audience laugh?"
And for that, I got you covered. That's why I like to use something that I like to call obligatory jokes. What an obligatory joke is, well, a joke that people feel obligated to laugh at.
Oh my god, that is funny!
This can be a joke about a universal gripe that the entire room has, a joke about yourself, or it can be a joke about the people in the room itself. For example, if you're giving a school presentation, you might say, "Wow, thank you so much for coming to my presentation that I definitely did not turn in at 11:58 p.m. last night." Or if you're at a Yu-Gi-Oh convention, you could say, "Wow, thank goodness they mandated wearing deodorant or else this room would smell way, way worse." Yeah, they actually had to do that. So if you're not super comfortable cracking a joke in front of a large group of people, this can be a great alternative as opposed to hoping that it lands with your audience. Next up on our acronym list is B, which stands for benefit. And if you were paying attention, you might notice that I actually use this technique at the very beginning of the video. The way the benefit works is that it lets your audience know of the benefits that they might get as they listen to your presentation and that they should stick with you to the very end. To get the most effect out of this, you want to clearly state what the benefit is to your audience. Like in this video, I said that if you watch throughout this entire video, you will boost your confidence, your personality, and your overall charisma for the rest of your speech. This kind of approach is really great if you are trying to teach an actionable skill to your audience. And doing this will make it so that they want to listen to what you have to say and learn that ultimate benefit throughout the course of your speech. Now we get to the S of JABISC, which stands for stories. Now, stories are some of the best and most widely used hooks used throughout media. And if you've ever watched a TED Talk, you've probably seen this story hook used many times before. The best stories for hooks are often personal to whoever is actually making the speech, but every single story hook should provide the viewer with context about what they can expect throughout your presentation, and also give you context as to why you personally are the best person to give this presentation. But what things can we actually do to make a good story a great story? Well, it all comes down to the way that we tell the story, through the use of gestures, pauses, and even throwing in a couple of jokes in there can really help to captivate the audience and make them a lot more interested and entertained in your presentation. And if you want to learn more about these tips, you can click the card in the upper right corner. Learning to leverage the curiosity of your viewers is one of the best ways to boost the power of your story and keep your viewers sticking around until the end. Now, the final letter of our acronym is Q, which stands for question. But with questions, you have to be really, really careful because if used incorrectly, it can actually go against you when you're making your presentation. The type of question that you want to ask your audience has to be pretty specific and have an answer that's fairly straightforward. For example, if you ask a super deep question at the very beginning, like, "What is the meaning of life?" then your audience will naturally start to think about how deep that question is, and they'll start zoning off. What you want to do is ask something called a leading question. This leading question essentially guides your audience towards a certain answer on its own, but also further piques the audience's interest. For the example of this video, a bad open-ended question would be, what is the best way to hook an audience? You see, this kind of question is way too broad and your audience will start thinking about that rather than your speech. Now, this would be an example of a good hook. What if I told you that there was a super easy and effective way to instantly hook your audience in under 10 seconds? Right there, that was way more effective, right? Using a question correctly at the beginning of your speech will have your audience naturally pondering the question, and they will be curious about learning the answer as you go on throughout your speech. This right here was 4 of the best ways to start a presentation to instantly hook your audience. So if you are ever in a pinch and need to come up with a hook to your speech very quickly, just remember the acronym JUMPIS. Actually, it's starting to grow on me. What about you? I don't know. I like it. If you like this video, be sure to comment down below, and that will help me know what kind of videos you want to see in the future. And if you can, I'd really appreciate it if you subscribed. And if you want to learn more about some of the mistakes that you might make when you first start public speaking, be sure to click the video right here, and that'll give you some guidance. But that's all from me. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.